This morning, we're talking about addiction and specifically about smartphones and how I'm going to try and go 24 hours without using my smartphone whatsoever. And hopefully we can learn just about addiction in general and maybe some opportunities for us to be more productive, more energetic, and enjoy and do what we really want to do with our time here on planet Earth. Enjoy the morning show, folks. Good morning, and welcome back to another episode of the Talk to Taylor Morning Show, where we go over tips, tricks, ideas, and exercises to help make you the absolute best version of yourself, not only for yourself, but for the people you love and care about most. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to the show this morning. Good morning. This morning, we're going to be talking about smartphones, and we're going to be talking about addiction in general. So to get going, I always appreciate a definition in the morning to kind of get my brain rocking and rolling. So ChatGBT's definition of addiction is compulsive engagement in a substance or behavior despite adverse consequences, often accompanied by physical and psychological dependence. Few key words there. So my definition is, for addiction, I cannot say no when I want to say no. I like simplicity. I think simplicity is the ultimate superpower in getting it to click in our brains and turn into action. So this is my definition of it. I cannot say no when I want to say no. And this goes beyond smartphones. This morning's showcase will be all about smartphones, but really, a few of addictions that I've had in the past. I used to be addicted to smoking cigarettes, unfortunately. Nicotine products in general. Oh my gosh, those products suck. I had a really hard time quitting those, but overcame that, thankfully. And now one of my next things is I want to overcome the use of my smartphone. Yesterday was my birthday, and I have no problem with sitting and entertaining myself on my birthday and doing that. But to be on my phone for 5 hours, I had 5 hours of screen time yesterday. I was just watching a lot of YouTube, a lot of this, a lot of random crap, and just like football and video games. And it's just so much time. And when I really think about that stretched over my life, I just do not want to give that much of my life to my smartphone. And I think the smartphones are the true epidemic of the future. Just being plagued, they are designed to pull your attention as much as possible. It is the new television. It is the epicenter of information. And it's so easy, and they make them look so beautiful and so nice. Apple makes their products so good that I kept their box for the phone, let alone the dang phone. But anyway, so just shout out to Apple on their marketing. Absolutely beautiful stuff. But I think it's a massive opportunity when we think of the projects, when we think of the activities that we really want to do. I think getting rid of our cell phones can be a huge, massive window of time, skill, energy that we can devote to the things that we really want to do. I know personally, I want to not use my smartphone, only use my computer to communicate and to do that. And I'll use my smartphone, right, when I come back to it, and I'll check it at like lunch and dinner and stuff, but really trying to disconnect from it and not use it specifically for like the apps and YouTube and stuff like that. It's just way too much. So I want to be able to say no. And when I was really thinking about it, I was like, when I went to go pick it up this morning, it was like the first thing I did. It was the last thing I did before bed. And I'm thinking, like, could I even go 24 hours without even using this thing? And the fact I had to ask that question and pause is what inspire me to want to do this and do the show. Maybe it inspires you, maybe to not just give it up for 24 hours, but to just use it less. So I think it's helpful, whether it's smartphones or eating after 7 p.m. That one's really tough for me too. Is just, man, eating's really fun, and it's really hard to avoid gorging yourself we just threw a big party and it was a potluck. So people had food, this and that. We got tons of food here right now. And after 7 p.m., I got football on, and it's like, man, I just want to eat the world. Granted, it was my birthday. I'm okay with that every now and again. But we just want to really, that's the next thing I really want to break and really improve is that late night eating. Because your guts need a chance to digest. And if you eat food and you lay down, your guts do not digest food properly, and it's putting your guts into overdrive and overtime, and that's not good over the long haul of life. Okay. Back to addiction. So we're going to talk about some signs of addiction this morning, just so we can have some back pocket. We can think about what's really going on, and maybe some sound familiar to you, or we can apply this in any slew of life, whether it's the food that we're talking about, maybe it's cigarettes, maybe it's drinking, maybe it's smartphones, whatever it is. I think just learning about addiction in general is really powerful, really helpful, and can learn where we are in our own place and see if we can trim off some of these bad habits, some of this bad fat that's going on, and focus more on the things that we really do want to do in our lifetime. Because we're just not here long enough to spend 5 hours a day for our entire lives. Imagine what you could do with that 5 hours if you didn't spend it addicted to something. Okay, first off, the first sign of addiction is loss of control. Just not being able to control yourself, going into, I cannot say no when I want to say no. I do not want to be on my phone more than an hour a day, ever, really, preferably. And I have not been able to control myself. So that would be a sign of addiction. Next is craving it. So right as soon as I get done with this morning show, I crave to just pick it up. I crave to just want to pick it up, even though I know I'm trying to take a break from it. I think if we want to build a relationship with anything, taking a break from it's usually a good recipe. I've done this with this year. We did that with alcohol. Just took a break with it to really see if I needed it in my life. And believe me, you're not gonna die if you go 24 hours without your smartphone. But next up is tolerance. There's something about dopamine. People who smoke cigarettes know this very well, and this is something that happened to me. You smoke one, and it feels really good. And then you smoke a couple, and then you smoke more, and then you smoke more, and then your tolerance keeps building and building and building, and it's just not giving you what it was in the beginning. The drug dealers are in the best business because their first hit's the best hit that they're going to give, and that's what gets people addicted. Not that we should be promoting drug dealers or whatever, but you can see why it works. So humans intolerance, when you take a break from the phone, when I really take a break from the phone, then it'll actually feel good when I do go to use it. I think it's hard to enjoy things that we can't get away from. Too much of anything is not good. So I think our tolerances are so high on the dopamine that we're getting out of our smartphones. I want to break from it. I don't want to look at it. I don't want to touch it. I want to just see if I can do this. Can I do this? Or am I really that addicted and I need to, take smaller steps? I just want to see where I'm at. And I think maybe that's a good idea, maybe for you guys to, just see where you're at, see where the feelings come in, because the next up, this is what tends to happen. So after we build up tolerance and we're just losing a lot of time, we neglect responsibilities. So my writing and my reading has reduced over the last, I was looking at the screen time and stuff on my phone, and I was looking at my writing and my reading. So I haven't been reading a lot and I haven't been writing a lot. And my screen time has been way up. Is there a coincidence there? I think not. I think this happens a lot with addictions, with anything. We tend to neglect responsibilities. When you think of people who are addicted to anything, so think in your head just someone who's addicted to something, do they neglect responsibilities? Probably. So it's no coincidence that my reading and my writing have dropped and my screen time has risen. And it's been more difficult for me to find topics for the morning show. Yeah, because reading and writing are my ammunition for this stuff. So neglecting responsibilities is next up. And then just loss of interest in other activities. This is what's really sad. So I can't help but use the alcohol example, but I know a lot of people who are alcoholics and they just give up the activities that they love. like the things that really set them alive, that make them feel happy, whether it's like going out to the woods, hunting and fishing, and they can't drive there. They can't even drive because they've gotten too many DUIs, or they won't go somewhere because they can't drink alcohol there. Or like when you think of people who are using smartphones, back to the smartphone example, like it is just mind boggling to me that the most important thing you say is your family. But every time you're around your family, you make more direct eye contact with your phone than your family. Just saying, just throwing it out there. So, loss of interest in other activities, loss of interest in the outside world. And that was another reason why I put my smartphone in black and white. You can take the color out of it, so the rest of the world continues to look beautiful. Technology has advanced so fast and so quickly. I think it's no wonder why it's really hard to pay attention to anything but the phone and what's going on in that different universe. So this is the one that breaks my heart, but it's totally true. Like I am writing less, I am reading less, and I'm watching and not living. So that's a question that you ask yourself. Are you watching other people live, or are you living your own life? I think this is a dangerous game that a lot of people are falling prey to, including myself. I don't want to watch life. I want to live life. And I don't want to lose interest in awesome activities like writing literature that can change generations, or like reading good books from people times and times ago that still apply so much today. So I don't want to lose opportunities on things that I find so interesting and beautiful because I'm addicted to something else that doesn't really mean anything to me. And I'm just addicted because that's how they're designed. Like they're designed to make us addicted. So next up is secrecy and deception. So for me, I was doing this all the time. Like I would go out of the room or whatever, away from like my girlfriend. I'd be like watching video games, like almost like I'm a little ashamed of it. And that's too bad. First off, we shouldn't be ashamed of ourselves. Like if you're watching something and you don't want to tell other people about it, like because you're embarrassed about it, that's probably a sign that we need to change something, whether we change your beliefs about yourself or you just change your habits in general. Like if you watch a lot of pornography, or if you watch a lot of video games, or if you watch like whatever, and you can't even tell your friends or show your family about it, do you really want to be doing that? And so secrecy and deception, this is part of addiction, unfortunately. Like people will just, if you have to hide something because you're that embarrassed about it, or that it's that out of alignment with who you are and what you truly want, that's an issue. So for me, that was watching video games. I've been like embarrassed about it. I'm a life coach. I want to help people. I want to help people improve. And there's nothing wrong with playing video games here and there and doing that. I think really most hobbies, they're not off limits. It's just, I was embarrassed with my actions because I thought I needed to set a certain standard for like being a coach. And I think I can work on that in two ways. One, if I watch some video games every now and again or whatever I like to check out what's new. I think some of the graphics and the art are just so mind boggling and beautiful that sometimes I hop into this site called Twitch and I'll watch like whether it's a new game or this and that, or some of my friends stream video games. So I'll check it. And there's nothing embarrassing about that. It's just like, how often am I doing it? How long am I doing it? And is it keeping me from doing it what I really want? And I want to be more open and not like, I can tell my girlfriend like, hey, I'm watching this video game, and like not like be embarrassed about it, or like, hey, I'm doing this. If I'm neglecting the things that I really want to do, then that's a huge issue. But you see what I'm trying to say on like both ends of it. We shouldn't be embarrassed of what we're doing. And if we truly are embarrassed and we don't want to be doing that, then we should probably change our actions and cut that back and not do it. Like I shouldn't be watching video games or watching whatever all the time, right? Okay. Next up is the last piece for just these. Again, we're just talking about signs of addiction this morning. So just to kind of get an idea of like, oh, I probably do have an issue with this. I want to raise awareness to it. Raise awareness. That's where we're at, baby, is just raising awareness to the bad habits in our life and see if we can cut them back. So last sign of addiction would be failed attempt to quit. So this one's right in line with ours. I cannot say no when I want to say no. So right after this morning show, if I cannot say no to the smartphone, I just do a morning show on it. I'm vulnerable about it. I'm just talking to the universe, like the online world, about it. And right after this video, if I sucked right back into it, I am addicted. So failed attempts to quit, I think, are a big sign of it. And if you're really struggling, I think taking baby steps is the ultimate way. Like, this whole thing of I need to change the world right this second usually sets us up for failure, because we're just such emotional creatures, and the emotions inside of us are just scared. And I know there's a lot of tough people out there, but it's true. Like, it just, within all of us, it's okay. And sometimes I'm just like scared to take the actions necessary of like what needs to happen and where my interests really lie, and having a balance with like who I am and what it is I really want. Life's complicated and hard, and that's okay. And it's okay to dabble in a little things, but just if we can really answer that question of who you are and what you actually want, and then live in alignment with that, I think it makes for happier and healthier people. So failed attempts to quit comes in the last one. But that's all I had today, is just some signs of addiction, and we can really quickly go over them. So you don't have control. You have cravings for it. Tolerance, it doesn't even bring you joy anymore. You neglect your responsibilities, thing you actually want to be doing. You lost interest in other activities that you want to be doing. Secrecy and deception, you're lying to your partner, your friends, your family, whoever, that what you're actually doing with your time. And failed attempts to quit. So these are signs of addiction. My definition is I cannot say no when I want to say no. And my goal today is to quit using my smartphone for 24 hours. I've already shifted all of my communication over to my computer. Buy a track phone. I've had this excuse with people so often, and this is another reason why I want to do it, because I'm not going to tell people to do something I can't even do. That's just not my style. So I'm going to quit it for 24 hours, because I know there's a lot of people who I work with. They could really benefit with taking a break from it as well. And I can take my experiences and try and like just be supportive, not forceful, but supportive on helping people take that next step forward. And hopefully you can do that as well from watching this video. But if you would like to work with me, you can always pop over to talktotanner.com. This is my last little plug for the show. Good morning. Good morning. So you can always go to talktotanner.com. And if you want to take my class, you get this handy dandy, beautiful. This is the textbook for the class that we had made. Now, let me remove this real quick. This beautiful book that we get, you get to work through it as you're working with me one-on-one. So you get to work with yours truly while you also have your coach along the way. And so you can go over to talktotanner.com. And right now, I am offering, so until the end of the year, I am offering a coupon code so that you can get it completely free. I will give you 100% off coupon code if you go to talktotanner.com and you schedule a call with me. So you can go down, you can schedule a call with me, and you pick a time on the calendar that actually works for you. And then you talk to me, and then you say, hey, Tanner, I want to take your class. I don't have the money right now, or I'm not in a position to pay for it, or I don't want to pay for it, whatever your situation is. And then I will give you that 100% coupon code off. Again, that is 100% off of the class if you schedule a call with me and you set that up. And you can do that, and you get all of the perks, all the lifetime access for the course, everything in it. Like we talked about, the workbook, the modules, the 50 exercises, the digital, just the personalized plan that we make for you, and then guided meditations and breathing exercises. Whole bunch of good stuff. So you can get 100% off if you go to talktotanner.com today and you sign up for the one-page life plan course. My gift to other people, I'm really trying to give back, see if we can make a huge difference that way. But that's my purpose. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. Hopefully this was helpful to you. You can always go over to YouTube to check out our full slew of morning show episodes if you want to look at that. But this was episode 398 of the Talk Tanner Morning Show. Quitting that smartphone for 24 hours. Can we do it? Can you do it? What are some bad habits that we can break and we can work on today? One step at a time, always heading forward. having a great one, you guys. And in case you needed to hear it, I love you. You're badass. You got this. Enjoy your life. And I'll see you bright and early, 8 a.m. Central Standard Time with another episode. Talk to you on the morning show. Cheers, friends. I'm out. Peace.